Sean, I mean, Bellator is kind of was in a strange point. I mean, with Bjorn Rebney, who is the founder and the reason I guess Bellator got to where it is, but there's the point where it peaked off, and now you guys are being run by former Strikeforce promoter Scott Coker. What do you think led to the end of Bjorn's run as the promoter and president of Bellator, and now with Scott Coker? I mean, how excited are you with him as your new boss?
I love Scott Coker. He's phenomenal. And I was always a huge Strikeforce fan. That was an organization that early on I wanted to commentate for, but I never wanted to take anybody's job. But I enjoyed every Strikeforce show. Those shows on Showtime, they had the energy to me that the early Art Davie UFCs had. Like, you felt like something really special and big was going to happen. I adore Scott Coker. And in this business, to have no enemies is a real accomplishment. And Scott Coker has no enemies. I like to think I'm the same type of guy, but Scott Coker is definitely held in that incredible regard. I'll tell you exactly what happened with Bjorn Rebney. And Bjorn Rebney is a visionary. He's determined to do things his way. And when he was answering, not as the sole owner, but when he was answering still as the president, or rather the CEO and chairman of the board for Bellator, but answering to Spike, he was locked into certain ideas, doing the 12-week season blocks, doing the tournaments, title shots are not given. He was married to certain concepts that Spike and a lot of people in the fight industry felt had really just played out. They had just kind of run their natural course, and now it was time to evolve. And Bjorn Rebney was just not willing to back off, and the two parties agreed to go their separate ways. Early on, I started to recognize that there might be trouble with the tournaments. It confirmed it for me after Chandler Alvarez won, because you thought, that what a phenomenal fight of the year. Everybody wants to see the rematch, but we don't have a structure to give a rematch. Now you're going to put Eddie Alvarez back into a tournament. Well, what if he's upset in the semifinals, or he loses the final? What if he has a bad night? What if it's a bad scoring decision? What if he gets clipped and knocked out? Or what if he gets caught in a sub? That was really, I think, the opening where you saw maybe this isn't going to work. You know, Art Davie created the UFC on tournaments, but Art Davie knew that he had a fight that everybody wanted to see, and Hoist Gracie versus Ken Shamrock too. So Art Davie created a super fight because he was willing to read what the public wanted. And again, no disrespect to Bjorn Rebney. I owe a lot of my career to him, but he was just very rigid on his ideas, and I'm sure still is. I'm sure he's looking at Bellator shaking his head, but very rigid on his ideas. This is exactly what we have to be to succeed, and basically everybody else saw it, who was in position of power, saw it a different way, and the two parties just agreed. It was almost like a amicable divorce. The two parties just agreed to go their different ways.
I think with the tournaments, when Bellator started, they were a great idea to have, to separate yourself as just, instead of just another MMA promotion, as something like, well, giving you reason and the potential to make stars. Because, I mean, I think Emmanuel Newton's stock totally rise from that tournament, and other guys as well. But like you said, the rematch things for such great fights, like, you didn't have the structure. You had people having to sift through, and maybe that would have worked out with everything being so easy peasy. But we know MMA, an upset can happen in a blink of an eye, and I'm really happy that the brand has gotten away from it. And now it seems when you see fights that are announced, it's extra special to me with that brand.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the tournament started to be tortured when everybody knew that it was set up to have Mola Wall face Rampage Jackson. So we do a 4-man tournament. And then Mikhail Zayats nearly upset Mola Wall. You know, just make the fight. And I think that was the view. Just make the fight. If you have a fight, make the fight. If people want to see it, don't go through the machinations of you have to win a tournament, or an 8-man tournament, or a 4-man tournament. And even in the early days of the Bellator tournaments, we kept it subtle, but there was no seeding. There, you would create the first round would be created by Bjorn Rebney, and then he would go back with his matchmaking team, and then they would basically create the semifinals. It was Spike who said, "This looks really bad. It almost looks like a work. You need to seed these guys and have a proper bracket." But go back and look at those early pre-Spike Bellators. We didn't have brackets because there was some matchmaking going on. I thought it was a great vehicle to promote stars, create stars, build heat on guys early on. But once you got to that point, it was time to abandon it. It really, too, was the type of situation where we're doing 7 tournaments in a season. We're burying a lot of tournaments on the prelims. They almost became a nuisance for the promotion. Someone got cut, so now you have a holdover. So we would literally have shows where tonight we have the quarterfinals of the middleweight tournament, and we have the final of last season's middleweight tournament, and we also have this fight that's in the middleweight division that has nothing to do with the tournament. That just confused fans. You want to make it fun. You don't want to make it confusing for people.